Hello, welcome to my video. Today I am going to talk about why we actually tap, or why I tap. Mainly, we start tapping, or everyone starts tapping, practitioners who regularly tap because it's got so many benefits, mainly because it reduces cortisol and energy, adrenaline levels really within minutes, and it reduces therapy time, for example, which is a biggie from psychotherapy, that lasts 20 years or more or longer. It reduces the therapy time down to a few sessions because it is so effective. And it is proven. You can read books about it, about the studies. You can read on studies on the internet. You can watch films about the science of EFT. It is a proven method and has helped so many people, thousands of people. And that's why we train practitioners the way we do. And I have videos about it, how practitioners are trained, and that they receive supervision, that they have CPD, which stands for Continued Professional Development, and that they stay in the loop, and etc., etc. Why we do EFT is not just because we have phobias to overcome, food cravings to overcome, smoking. We want to stop smoking. We want to stop addictions. We want to enhance our sports performances, our music playing performances. We want to improve our relationships, which is such a biggie. We want to improve the relationships to ourselves. Yeah. That is the main thing about EFT, that we learn to love ourselves, to accept the way we are. I mean, the list is ongoing on things we can tap on and things we can improve, because it's the #1 self-development tool. And why is that? Why am I claiming that it is the #1 self-development tool? If you watch videos from new scientists who talk about epigenetics and who talk about, meditation and how to imagine your life, and, imagine the life you want, and really as it is, they say, because of quantum physics saying that there isn't really any time, and that all times, even the past and the future, exist at the same time, and that we have to imagine things as they are. So the self-development gurus, let's say, or self-development teacher of this time in the 21st century, they all say one thing, and they say that our emotions are, and those are my own words now, are the driver of our lives. Without emotions, we wouldn't have art, we wouldn't have music, we wouldn't have these amazing creative things that people put out as for our entertainment, but also for writers and all these amazing things without emotion. But did you know that emotions are also our chemicals, as in with every emotion, and we can't separate them. We have a chemical reaction, as in we release hormones in our bloodstreams. Those hormones transform into, let's say, neuropeptides. I don't really know exactly. You can read and watch videos about, and I give you some hints, but those become our cellular makeup. Those hormones and whatever they neurotransmitters they're called, whatever they turn into, they will lock into our cells like keys into a lock, and they will become us. So emotions and knowing how we feel, when we look at it from that perspective, become very, 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 very interesting and very important, because if emotions are our chemical, our chemistry, then this chemistry also determines how well we are, how healthy we are. So our emotional well-being really has then an effect on our body and our health. And that's why emotions are so important. And that is why it's so important to actually look at our emotions and express them and actually clear them. Because with emotional freedom technique, emotional freedom doesn't mean that we don't feel emotional, that we don't feel any emotional. It's actually quite the opposite, because with emotional freedom, when we free ourselves from the past, from past emotions where we feel stuck and we feel in a loop, and we repeat the same emotions, and to name the main emotions that we come back to are anger. And those are not bad emotions, by the way. We are just conditioned to not feel them. We are conditioned through school, government, parents, caretakers, that we must not accept them. We must sort of push them away. They're not accepted. It's not accepted to show anger. It's not accepted to express anger, although, they can be expressed in a healthy way. And that's why we tap, because we have bottled them up. To go back, let's name anger is often, a big thing that is suppressed, that can actually cause hypothyroidism, because mostly we have to hold things in. The anger gets stuck in our throat. We can't express how we feel. And through tapping, we can release that, and we can actually finally express, from 20, 30 years on how we actually felt. Anger, sadness, is loneliness, is always very, very, I have to talk in another video about loneliness, how many lonely people there are on the planet, and that's a pandemic. When we talk about lonely people and how how disconnected we actually feel. And loneliness is one of the main symptoms, or what we are left with. Feelings of loneliness, then fear, that causes anxiety. Anxiety is fear of something that might happen in the future, fear of something that we experienced. That's always comes. And grief, grief is not really an emotion, it's a mix of all those things. Shame is a big one that always hides. And guilt. So I'm just naming some emotions that actually, when we are stuck with them because we experienced certain things in our past, they will come, that we will repeat and re-feel those emotions over and over, unless we release them by going, by addressing where they actually come from. And without going into depth with these, but I just wanted to leave you with a metaphor of, let's say, a house, a house that is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, whatever age it is, and it's been left uncleaned, and it needs, so you come into the house and imagine that house is you, that's the emotional well-being, your emotions that haven't been addressed, and that house is full with stuff, and it needs clearing because you can't get any more in. There is no more, you can't fit in any more furniture, you can't fit any more things in. And let's say that house is you, and you start clearing that house, and you clear that house, and you clear that house, and then you have like some corners that you've never really looked into, and you can clear those out too. And how would you feel when you come into your house, or into a house that has been cleared, and it's just, things you can move around in a house, and there's, So that's, that's the thing what I often say with my clients, that we clear or clean the house, and we sometimes go into the corners that we haven't looked into. It's the same as with your house, like if you accumulate a lot of things and you can't find things anymore, that's a sign for me. That's I have to really get rid of things. I have accumulated too many things. I have to do some clearing, and it feels so good just to do that in your own home. But it just feels also so good to do this through the tapping process, and because then you can actually create. That's why we really do EFT, that we actually have the capacity to feel emotions that we really want. And then, to come back to the self-development gurus that tell you to imagine your new life in your new house with your new car, or unmaterialistic things such as you succeeded in something, like your business, or you've got a relationship that's not very materialistic, but it is something that you have to develop within yourself. If you imagine those things, you have to have, a clear house. You have to have, a capacity to feel emotions and to actually feel emotions, because they also say that you have to feel the way already. Yeah, in that when you create something, when you imagine something, you have to feel as if you have them already in your life. And if you were brought up with not much love, or with a lot of expectations, or with a lot of pressure, and you brought that into adulthood, then you have to clear that first. If you're not able to actually feel the opposite to imagine actually a new life, a growing business, a thriving business, to imagine a relationship, to feel loved and feel safe in it, and stuff like this. So that's why we really do EFT, to have that capacity to feel something else than we felt, so far, to feel positiveness, to feel, that freedom, to have that choice, to feel either sadness or anger or guilt or shame, all these things that I said, and to actually feel self-empowered, to feel freedom, to feel creative, to be creative, and to have actually a choice how you really want to live your life. And that's why I leave you with, because EFT is just, in my opinion, and many other people's practitioners' opinion, it is the number one self-development tool, because you get into the driver's seat. Yeah, that's another, metaphor, but you become the driver of your life. And because you have that tool, you learn how, emotions really drive our life. And yeah, I leave you with that. That's why we really do EFT. I'll see you in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.